Morning. Just thought I'd show you what's going on. She's pooped from her birthday party. She had a great party yesterday. It's not easy being 3. I don't know where Kima went. She's somewhere else. Just wait for a few more people to show up and then we'll jump on into it. Yeah, she's very tired. Very tired cat. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll wait for a few more people to stumble up upon our stream, and then we'll jump right on into it. How are we doing here? Okay, we got 8 people. Let's see if we can get 10 people before we jump on into it. Oh, we still have my camera up. That's silly. There we go. Come on, grade 10s, let's go. Only got 9 people. Okay, you know what? Let's jump right on into it, eh? Why not? Why not? We'll just do it with the 9 of us. We don't need those other schmucks. No, I'm just kidding. I miss them very dearly. I wish we were all here. I wish I could see your faces too. I miss you guys so much. Let's see here. No, not that section. Okay, give me one sec. Chap 7. Okay, and what we're doing here. Oh, look at that! We got 11 people. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's get started then. So, yesterday we did kind of more of a review. We were doing systems of linear equations. Now, what I'd like us to work on now is a little something called linear inequalities. Okay, linear inequalities. So, once we do linear inequalities, we are we're going to be. I've kind of just been going through the curriculum, and we're coming close to the end of covering all of the grade 10 advanced material, which is awesome. Like I'm like, wow, we're actually we're gonna do it. We're actually gonna do this. So I think we're in good shape. All things considered, no less. I mean, even if this was a regular year, it is hard to cover all the material in a curriculum, no less an advanced curriculum. That's a challenge to go over everything. You have to keep up the pace and keep things going and have some momentum and have that motivation. And to do that while we're spending over half of our time together under quarantine is a tremendous accomplishment. So yeah, I think we're in very, very good shape. So let's keep it up. I really think we can do this. We have about 2 months left. Right, today's the last day of April. Tomorrow is May. We've got May and June. I think we can do this. I really think we can do this. So let's carry on with this. And what we're going to talk about is some inequalities today. Okay, so that's our goal today, is to talk about inequalities. In particular, we're going to be talking about inequalities in more than one variable. So we've looked at systems of linear equations. We've looked at systems of nonlinear equations. So in particular, like one equation that is linear and then one equation that is quadratic, or two quadratic equations and solving for that. What we're going to look at now is a system of inequalities. So let's just review what an inequality is, and I'm going to just give you a few quick facts about linear inequalities. Oops, what did I do here? Cancel. What the heck? Oh, I got the camera button on. Okay, yeah, I was showing everyone Goose before. She was taking a little nap, and I just thought that she looked so peaceful that, sometimes it's nice to look at something peaceful. Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at inequalities today. Inequalities. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to be looking at inequalities. So this is kind of the style of thing that we're talking about. So I'll just give a quick demonstration of what an inequality is. So an inequality is similar. Let me zoom in here. Is similar, but fundamentally different. Than an equation. Okay, so it's equation. Okay, so let's take a look at what an equation would be. An equation would be something like this. X plus 2 equals 7. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so an equation would look something like this: x plus 2 equals 7. An inequality looks something like this. Inequality looks something like this. We would have x plus 2 is less than 7. Okay, so instead of an equal sign, we have either a less than sign, a greater than sign, a less than or equal to sign, or a greater than or equal to sign. Okay, so those are the 4 types of inequalities that we have. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I just have to blow my nose. Oh, I've got tissue right in my pocket. Sorry, this is kind of gross. Okay, so instead of an equal sign, we've got either a less than sign, a greater than sign, less than or equal to sign, or a greater than or equal to sign. Okay, so just a few tips about solving inequalities, and I think that this is something that we covered very briefly when we were actually in the physical classroom in March. I think it came up very briefly, but I'll go over it again just in case you forgot. So when solving for an inequality, we can do pretty much almost all the same things, almost all the same operations as an equation. Okay, as an equation. Okay, so let's try to solve a inequality. So let's see here. So for example, let's solve this one over here. X plus 2 must be less than 7. So if I told you that x plus 2 must be less than 7, well, what we could do is we can subtract. We could subtract 2 from both sides, so minus 2, right? And we would have x is less than 5. Okay. So I'm hoping that makes sense. So we could let's try a number that's less than 5. So this basically what this is saying is that x can be any number less than 5. Okay, and let's try it. Let's choose some random number that's less than 5. How about -4? So if x is equal to -4, well, we'll go back to the original equation over here, or the original inequality over here. And if we had, -4 plus 2, is that less than 7? Well, -4 plus 2 is -2, and -2 is less than 7, so yes, it works. So any number that is less than 5 will satisfy this inequality. Perfect. Let's try another inequality. Okay, so let's try another example. I'll go up over here. So let's try another example. Let's try, for example, how about -2x minus 4 is less than 6? Okay. Let's try this one. Okay, well, I'll add 4 to both sides. Plus 4, all right. And that would cancel those ones out. So I'm left with, what do I have? I got -2x is less than 10. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm going to do something intentionally wrong. So intentionally, I don't have any more room. I'll just write wrong. Okay, so this is wrong, and I'm doing it on purpose just to illustrate. This is what it's very tempting to do this, but we have to be careful when we're dealing with inequalities. So if I were to divide both sides by -2, I would have x is less than -5. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so let's check. let's check our work. Oops. Let's check our work. So let's try a number that's less than -5. How about -6? Okay, so let's try x equals -6. Sure, -6 is less than -5. So is that going to work in our original inequality? So let's give it a shot. We would have -2 times -6, because that's what x is, right? X is -6 here, right? These are all -6, and we would subtract 4. -4 is less than +6. Let's try that. Well, -2 times -6 is +12. So I'll write +12 minus 4. Is that less than 6? I'll put a question mark on it because we're checking. And well, 12 minus 4 is 8. And wait a second, 8 isn't less than -6. So oops. So this is wrong. What did we do wrong? Why did that happen? Where did that go wrong? What happened here is in this step here. And like I said, it's intentionally wrong, right? I did something intentionally wrong. So the thing that I did wrong here was that when you divide an inequality by a negative, like both sides of the inequality, you have to change the sign. You have to change the sign. So I had to change the sign to this, and then now all of these have to be a greater than sign. So this value of -6 is no longer one of our candidates. -6 is not greater than -5. We needed to find a number that was greater than -5. And I'll show you why in just a moment. So let's try another number that's greater than 5. Let's try, I'm just going to cross that out. Let's try, how about -4? -4 is greater than -5. So let's try that. I'll just get rid of that because it's starting to look a little confusing. So if I tried -4, I'll just erase this, try -4, and then -2 times -4 is +8. It's +8. And 8 minus 4 is 4. And look at that, just like that, we were able to fix our mistake. 4 is less than 6. So what's going on there? Why did we have to change that sign? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look at why that happens. So why do we change the inequality when dividing by a negative? Question mark. So why do we change the inequality when we divide by a negative? Well, just the best way to do it is just to look at a few examples, and you'll see. So we just do, I'm just going to illustrate this with a few examples. So let's just choose a very straightforward example. So if I have 1 and let's say 2, clearly 1 is less than 2. But the problem is, like on the number line, you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a number line, and we'll look at this on the number line. So here's 0 on the number line. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's -1. Here's -2. So in this case, 1 is less than 2, right? 1 is less than 2. But on the other hand, -2 is less than -1, right? -2 is less than -1. So you can see there's kind of we have a kind of a mirror image from the positives and the negatives, right? So 0 acts as kind of like a mirror. So if I were to say if 1 is less than 2, right, which is true, the opposite, like I can't just have that -1 is less than -2. This is wrong, right? That's wrong. You can see it right here because we have this mirror image. So if you change the sign of a inequality, so if you change from positives to negatives, then all of a sudden you have to also change the inequality because -1 is actually greater than -2. Okay? Okie dokie. Okie dokie. All right. Okay, that's kind of the basics of inequalities that are kind of just like a prerequisite thing. Maybe you can just let me know in the chat if you already knew this fact. I'd like to know if that's something that that you already knew, and if I had asked you to solve an inequality, if you could do that already. Just let me know. It's okay if you don't know. It's not like I'm gonna give you a bad mark or something like that. It's not like that. I would just like to know if that's something that that we already have under our belt. So next up, let's start talking about linear inequalities in two variables. So this is kind of what we're leading up towards. So linear inequalities in two variables. Okay. So let's talk about what a linear inequality is. Okay. So linear, this means a couple of things. It mostly means straight line. It means a straight line. Okay, so when you graph it, you'll get a nice straight line, like no curves. And it also means no exponents on the variables. Okay? So that's what it means. There's two things to it, that when you graph it, you get a straight line, and that there are no exponents on the variables. The other thing too is that oh yeah, and then inequalities. Sorry, yeah, that's the next part. Inequalities. So the inequality portion means less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal. Okay, so we're talking about inequalities, not things that are actually equal to. Okay, so I'm going to do just a series of examples here. So okay, so let's do an example. So I'll give you let's say four I'm going to give you four linear inequalities. Inequalities. Determine if the points 2, -1, 3, -4, 3, -4, and -3, -2 satisfy the inequality. Okay, so I'm going to give you four inequalities, and those are the points that we're going to determine whether or not they satisfy the inequality. So for the first one, the first inequality is 2x minus 3y. 2x minus 3y is greater than 7. The next one, part B, is 2x minus 3y. 2x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 7. The next one is 2x minus 3y is less than 7. You can probably guess what the last one is. D, 2x minus 3y is less than or equal to 7. Okay? So we are looking at these 4 points, and we want to know if these 3 points, this point here, this point here, this point here, we want to know if they satisfy each of these equations. Okay, so we're going to look at each of these equations individually. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then we will do, I'll get you to do the second one on your own. And then the last two, I'm going to get you to do as an exit slip. Okay, so the first one here, A, so oops, I'll do A over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in I'm going to plug in, I'm going to start off with doing this one. So I'm going to try 2 comma negative 1. Okay, so is 2 comma negative 1 a point that satisfies this inequality? Well, let's try it. So we'll do 2 times 2 minus 3 times negative 1, and let's see if that is greater than 7. Well, this would give me 4, I guess that would be plus 3. Is that greater than 7? Is 4 plus 3 greater than 7? Well, is 7 greater than 7? That kind of looks like just a bunch of arrows. Okay, is 7 greater than 7? No, it is not. 7 is equal to 7. 7 is not bigger than 7. 7 is equal to 7. So, not satisfied. Okay, next one. 3, 4. Is 3 comma 4, 3 comma negative 4, is that satisfied? Okay, well, let's try. Okay, I've got 2x minus 3, 2 times 3 minus 3 times negative 4. Is that greater than 7? Well, let's try it. So I've got 6 plus 12. Is that greater than 7? Well, is 18 greater than 7? Yes, it is. So the second one is, and let's see here. The last point is negative 3, negative 2. So let's try that one. Negative 3, negative 2. Let's see if that one satisfies the inequality. So I've got 2 times negative 3 minus 2 times negative 2. 3 times negative 2. And is that greater than 7? Well, let's try. I've got, negative 6 plus 6. Is that greater than 7? Is 0 greater than 7? Is that greater than 7? No, it is not. So for this one, for part A, you could write yes, no, no. Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. No, yes, no. That's what I meant to say. No, yes, no. Right? Because the first one is, the second one isn't, and the third one is. Okay? So you might notice that all of these guys are the same on the left-hand side. And that's really where all your arithmetic is. So you could just think about these numbers and you'd save yourself a lot of work, or at least a lot of arithmetic. So so I'm going to get you to do part B on your own. I'll give you just a couple of minutes. Let's say 3 minutes, and we are kind of running out of time here. So I'll give you 3 minutes to do part B. Okay, and when that time is up, we're going to sign out, and I'll get you to do part C and D as an exit slip. Okay? Okay, so this one, I'm just going to give you the answers, is yes, yes, no. Okay, so the only difference is the first one, because the first one you can kind of think of as just adding these little equal signs underneath all of these, and all those numbers will stay the same. So is 7 greater than or equal to 7? Yes, it is. It is actually, it's equal to 7. 18 is greater than or equal to 7, and 0 is not greater than or equal to 7. So we got yes, yes, no. So for your exit slip today, exit slip is to finish questions C and D. Okay, and I hope that your assignment is going well. If you have any difficulties with it or any concerns, as always, don't hesitate to let me know. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.